Hey guys, Brian Delivered You the Goods here, returning to you this afternoon for a album review for Trapt the Fall Deluxe. This album review that I wanted to do for you guys. I know I'm a few days behind on getting this review done. I just got a little busy with other things happening drama wise. It's been hectic basically for the past few weeks or so. But overall, I'm doing okay. So pretty much, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for Trapt the Fall Deluxe that I got a chance to listen to for myself for all 15 songs and let you know my thoughts on this record overall, which is like a 54.5 minute record. So let's dive into this album review. Now basically it starts with Try It First, the opening track, which is track number 1. Pretty much, this one was okay. It was a solid one. It had its good points, but then it just sounded alright with the vocals, so, I haven't really listened to Trapt since the Headstrong song, so I'm not very familiar with all of their music, but I've heard majority of their music. Well, as of this record, I've heard one of their albums, so technically I'm not very used to their music, but overall, I think it's a solid track, so 4.5 out of 5 for Try It First. Meant to Be is a pretty good track. I mean, there were some moments where I wasn't sure if I was liking it, but overall, it's pretty good in its own way, so 4.75 out of 5 for this one. I really like the vocals from the lead singer and just how the song is sounding for a 4 minute and some second track. It's pretty strong for what it goes for. So 4.75 out of 5. Think of You is a solid track too. I didn't hate this track. It was one of the singles for the record, but off the bat, it's good in its own way. So 4.5 out of 5. Home is another solid track too, in my opinion. Um, There was a lot of tracks I will say on this record that I gave 4.5 out of 5s, and a few that got one that got a 4.25 and another one that got a 4. But I will go into discussion on what I think of most of it. So basically, I would say Home is a good track in its own way. Not a personal favorite, but it's good for what it is. So 4.5 out of 5. Excuse my yawning. Drop Your Guard was a good track in its own way. I think with how the lead singer was singing the track, it's not bad in any way. And for 4 minutes and 46 seconds, it does drag out for a bit. That's the only complaint I had. But other than that, it's fine. So 4.5 out of 5. Halo was one of the singles for the record as well. And off the bat, it's a good song in its own way, but not my personal favorite. But I still would listen to it off and on. So 4.5 out of 5. Safe Here in the Shade is a good song in its own way. I think some of the melody sounds good, but the vocals are the thing from the lead singer. I don't know if I'm really feeling for the song with how he's vocally singing it, but overall, it's fine for what it goes for. So it plays it safe and all that. So 4.5 out of 5. My Devices was a pretty strong track. I really enjoyed this track for how it sounded. So 4.75 out of 5. Another favorite of mine off this record. So pretty much there's two songs I really enjoyed, Meant to Be and My Devices. Now we're going to get into the rest of the record because I've already gone through half of the album that I personally, what I thought of it, my thoughts are on it. So pretty much Bulletproof is in track number 9, and off the bat it's good. It's another 4.5 out of 5. I just felt that with this song, it kind of structurally had its missteps a bit, but it wasn't terrible in any way. It was still good for what it went for. So, the vocals did sound alright in this track. So, 4.5 out of 5. Above It All is a good song in its own way, so I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. Um, some of the melody structure kind of seems a little cluttery with how it's sounding overall melody-wise. It gets a little cluttery and you try to listen to see if you can keep up with the pace of the track and what it's sounding like, but it just kind of it's wishy-washy. It changes melody from time to time. So basically, it changes its melody. So 4.5 out of 5. When I Get Better is a above decent track. I wasn't sure if I was feeling for the vocals. They sound a little corny in this one. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So 4.25 out of 5. It's alright. So it's above decent. Ignorance is Bliss is the closing track for the regular edition, I presume. And off the bat, it's a solid track for what it sounds like. So I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I didn't hate this closing track for the regular edition. I believe this is the closing track for the regular edition. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. So now to talk about the deluxe edition tracks. Can't Look Away was the first song I heard from them last year. And off the bat, it's good for what it goes for. I mean, it doesn't really spike in interest. It doesn't keep me interested in the song too much, but it's a good track for what it goes for. So structurally wise, song wise, it's good for what it is. So 4.5 out of 5. Pride is another good track in its own way. I don't personally like this track too much, but it's better than the next song I'm going to talk about. So 4.5 out of 5. Stories, Electric. I think this track would have been good or above decent if the la da da's and all that other stuff came in. It sounded a little cheesy and corny from time to time with this one. I didn't hate it, but I found it to be decent. So it's a decent track to finish out the record. Not one of the strongest tracks to finish out a record, but it's decent for what it is. So 4 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I found Trapt the Fall for this deluxe edition that I reviewed. I found it to be average. Not one of my personal favorite records of this year, but it's something I could come back to from time to time if I feel in the mood for it. But overall, if I feel that I'm in the mood for this record, is what I'm basically saying. But overall, there's a few tracks I would come back to. My Device is Meant to Be, and some of the other 4.5 out of 5 songs. So there's a good amount of tracks that I would say are good, but the record itself was fairly decent. So it was average. So if I were to give this record a score, I'm going to give it an average score of a 7.5 out of 10. It's average for what it goes for. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's not something I would come back to a lot, if you get where I'm coming from my perspective. So basically 7.5 out of 10 for Trapt the Fall for their deluxe edition. Hopefully you enjoyed this album review this afternoon, and thanks for watching.